Hello, today is Friday, March the 12th, and today we're going to continue with our work on decimals. So making connections to decimal notations. This is lesson number 10 that we're working on today, students. And as usual, on our next slide, I've got our multiplication table here that is a resource for you to go back to and use whenever you need to. And on the next two slides, what I have are places for you to put pictures of your work. So if you're working in your notebook or if you're working in your binder on certain activities, then you're going to need to show a picture of your work to your teacher. And the only way to do that is going to be to take a picture of it and put it in here. Your I can statement, I can compare decimals using symbols less than, greater than, equal to, and use models to justify solutions. So we continue to work with those symbols. Our essential questions for the unit remain the same. How does the place of the digit within the base 10 system affect the value of the digit across the decimal point? And also, what is the relationship between fractions and decimals? Our first activity is going to be on a Jamboard, or you can use page 59 in your binder. It is Art and Math Journal Prompt. In art class, Claudia and Juan were each painting a canvas using different colors. They were trying to figure out who painted more of the canvas blue. Claudia determined she painted 6/10 of her canvas blue. Juan figured out he painted 54/100 of his canvas blue. Who painted more of the canvas blue? How do you know? You're going to write a comparison statement to show your work. Now, we're going to do that on the Jamboard or on page 59, and we're going to go to the Jamboard in just a minute. But over here, I put some tools for you to be able to use if you need to. And again, these are the decimal squares that we have been using the last few days, and also the number line. So we've also used a number line that you can click on and use that to help you. All right, so this is the first Jamboard, and this is for our launch, and this is for Claudia and Juan's comparison. So again, in our class, they were comparing. They were each painting a canvas using different colors. They were trying to figure out who painted more of the canvas blue. So who painted more of it blue? Claudia determined that she painted 6/10 of her canvas blue. Juan figured out that he painted 54/100 of his canvas blue. So our questions are going to be who painted more of the canvas blue, how do you know, and also to write a comparison statement to show it. Now, this is slide number 1, so we're going to go to slide number 2, and this is where we're going to be able to compare even more. And I want you to be able to pause the video, and I want you to try to work on the problems first. All right, so we were comparing Claudia, who painted 6/10 of her canvas blue, and Juan painted 54/100 of his canvas blue. So you had an opportunity to work on this. And again, you were able to drag down the correct name here. You should have picked Claudia. I think Claudia painted more. And down here it says justify your answers in writing using words from this word bank. Decimals, hundreds, tenths, compare, greater than, lesser than. So one thing that you could have written is that for Claudia, 6/10 is greater than and fills a bigger amount of the hundreds grid than 54/100. So 6/10 is greater than 54/100. And I gave you the option of using those decimal squares on the actual slides. So gave them here. So I've gone ahead and done that. So I've shown 6/10 over here and 54/100 over here. And you see the symbol is there that shows that 6/10 is greater than 54/100. And I can actually look at it and see that more of it is shaded in than 54/100. All right, so let's go and go to our next slide here. And this is pretty much going to be just like the decimal squares that we did here. So I'm doing this 54/100 for Juan and the 6/10 for Claudia. So 54, I want to use the highlighter too for that. And I get to pick my color. So 54/100. And I'll just drag that all the way down. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. 1, 2, 3, 4, 54/100s, and we got 6/10 for Claudia. 1, 2, 3, and I need 6 of these because remember 6 of them are going to be the same as 60 hundredths, 5 and 6. So that shows that 6/10, and I'm going to go ahead and put that symbol in the middle right there. That shows 6/10 is greater than 54 hundredths, and that is slide number 3. So I represented it using the grid. So the instruction says you must choose one of the visual models to represent your answer. So I went on and chose the actual grids to shade it in. Now you could also use the number line to plot them on the number line. So you could also do that. All right, so on our next slide here, guys, is independent practice. This is also going to be on the Jamboard. And this one is going to have several problems on it. So let's go ahead and go to our independent day. This is what it looks like. Okay, so decimal comparisons. The directions, read the question, and then on the following slide, answer the questions in 4 different ways. Be sure to show your answer. You're going to be using the symbols greater, less than, greater than, equal to, a number line. You're going to have a proof picture, and then you need to put a written explanation for them that would help someone who is confused. Then tell which model you think would be the most helpful in solving the problem and why. All right, so let's take a look at our Jamboard here. So this is A. This is Anthony and Stella. So you got a scenario right here that says, and what you're going to do is justify your response in 4 different ways. So we got to read this right here, and you're going to justify your response in 4 different ways. A comparison statement using the symbols, a number line, a proof picture, and the written explanation. And you're going to answer that question right there. Which model do you think is most useful in this situation and why? Now, okay, so this is where you read this particular one, Anthony and Stella. And then on the very next one, this is where you have to choose. You put the symbol in there to to show the comparison. Okay, so you got 4 and 53 hundredths, 4 and 7/10. So 53 hundredths, 7/10 right here. All right, so which one is bigger? You drag it there. So you got to do all 4 of these for that particular one. Now I know that there is quite a few on here. So you got A, then you got B, and you do your comparisons here for B, and there's also C. Do the comparisons, and there's a D. Do the comparisons, E. Do the comparisons, F. Do the comparisons. So what I'm going to do, since it's so many of them, I'm not going to make you do all of them. So how about we say you choose 2 of them. You choose 2 of them to do. Okay? And I'll write it right here. We got A, B, C, D, E, and F. So it all goes all the way to F. All right, so you got to just choose 2 of them, and I'll go all the way back and I'll write that on the front. Choose 2. A, B, C, D, E, F. So I just write it right there. And let me make this a little bit clearer for you. All right, so I think that's more manageable for you. So you choose 2 of those to do, and make sure you complete all of the entire slide when you're making the comparisons. That means the top 1, 2, 3, 4, and you got to do the bottom 2. Which one is the most helpful? And also, I think this because. So when you finish the Jamboard, make sure that you have at least your 5 lessons completed on Dreambox.